government of the Gambia embarked on clearing the road, you were the big opposition, big mouth, who were insulting, abusing this government, saying that we were destroying people's livelihoods.
Sorry.
Excuse me. Allow me to come. Allow me to learn.
Honorable Speaker, Minister is telling big mouths, oppositions.
Honorable Speaker, I thought he said he was referring to me. I wanted clarity on that, but since you've said something else, so I'm okay with it. You can continue with your
Honorable
answer.
members, order, please.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members are not allowed to use their mic. If you want to, permissible interruption is when you want to raise a point of order, that's automatic. But if you want to observe the one speaking, it's up to the one speaking to allow you. So please, if you want to, if a point of order, you can automatically go ahead. Honorable members, order. I didn't hear the minister talks about, he's not referring to the member. Initially, I thought he was referring to the member. But the member told us, Minister says, sorry, Minister, are you referring to the member?
To the opposition out there who are abusing our government for clearing the roads.
We are opposition, we will talk.
Order, please. It's not accurate to say it's insulting the whole nation. That's not correct.
Insulting the whole nation.
That's right. That's a lie. That's not
Member
true.
for Janjamure, please don't use the mic. Member for Janjamure, don't use the mic. Honorable members, please don't use the mic. Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order, please. Member for Janjamure, if members like you makes it difficult for speakers to make ruling, because if something is said before the floor of Parliament, members don't maintain decorum to allow the speaker to rule. If everybody is shouting like a marketplace, making noise from his or her corner, the speaker will be left with no option but either to laugh because of the behavior that is common to a marketplace or bantaba, to allow decorum to regain, then for me to be able to make my ruling. And if a member is speaking and you believe he's out of order because of his behavior, and you are calling the speaker to address that member, you must behave yourself. Yes, Central Body will point of order.
Order 29, content of speeches. It shall be out of order to use offensive and insulting language about members of the Assembly. Honorable Speaker, in the response of the Honorable Minister of Tourism, Lands and Local Government, it's wrong for him to call oppositions as big mouth. It's impolite of him as a minister to address us.
Please take your seat. You see, honorable members, that is why I said it's important for us to allow the speaker to run proceedings. When minister made that statement, I had to consult with my two of them. They're here. I had to consult them in respect of big mouth and also as to whom he was referring to, whether he was referring to members or not. Before I finished, while I was consulting the member for Janjamuri and others, we were disrupted. I couldn't even know what to say. And before I finished, the member for Serekunda had informed preliminary that the minister said he was not referring to him. But that was not enough. I had to ask the minister himself if he was indeed referring to the members. And he said no. So you see, if you don't allow decorum, you will not even know what we are doing. No, you cannot help. No, I don't want you to help me. No. So, and I was gonna ask, and I asked the minister, he said he was not referring to members of parliament. We will not allow, please listen, we will not allow ministers to misrepresent or impute improper motive or insult members. We will not allow members to insult or impute improper motive on ministers as well. We have made it very clear. Every time we made a ruling on those things.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
You know what is the truth? Is that board members and ministers, when they are before Parliament, they must behave parliamentarily to each other. That is why it's the truth. Members themselves don't even allow proceedings to progress when there are issues. If you rule against them, if you rule in accordance with the law, they become unruly to you. Just now, members are misbehaving towards me, even whereas I'm making my ruling. Janjamure left his seat and he migrated. But he's from Janjamure. He cannot leave. He is still member of Janjamure constituency.
Speaker, stop using me as a reference for God's sake, please. Please, allow me to be in my peace, please.
My aid, if B is big mouth an insult, or parliamentary or unparliamentary. That's what I was consulting. I was consulting. They have not even given me the response, and you people, everybody is shouting. Now, Honorable Minister, please, let's refrain from using words that may be seen as unparliamentary. Thank you.
Speaker.
There is point of order, member for Janjamure.
Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on point of order 29 again. It shall be out of order. That is 29.4. It shall be out of order to use offensive or offensive and insulting language about members of the assembly, even though he said he was not referring.
No, don't make statement.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
No, Faldon Speaker.
Order. No order. Wait. Member for Nyanija. Order. There is the point of order. Let me rule on that.
Speaker, if
Out of order to use offensive or insulting language on members. On members. In member, whatever you say, member for Uli is. That was the first thing I asked before even other people. And he said, I asked him. And before even asking him, the member himself, the concerned member, said the minister said he is not referring to him but outsiders. And even with all that, I went further to ask the minister if he had indeed referred to the member or members. And he said, no, he has not referred to the members. Then therefore that one is out of order. But I further caution the minister and members to refrain from making statements or words that are seemingly unparliamentary. I stated it. There cannot be better ruling than that. And then the question is, even if it was to a member, first you have to establish what word was said by a member or the vice president or a minister. Now to ascertain if that word is insulting or abusive. Then you make your ruling based on the law or based on how you perceive and understand the word used by the vice president, minister, or a member answering on behalf of the authority. Member for Nyanija, you have a point of order.
Yes, Honorable Speaker. Behavior of members, Order 17. During a sitting, all members that enter and leave the chamber with decorum. That's A. B. No member shall cross the floor of the chamber unnecessarily. The honorable member for Janjamure left his seat, went there, and you gave him the floor addressing you. That is definitely very wrong. Honestly, if that is what is to be happening here, if I can be aggrieved,
Honorable Speaker,
that is wrong. Honestly. Honestly.
Speaker, thank you very much. When the Honorable Minister said he's not referring to members,
and members before him are opposition members. You see, what kind of ruling are you making? The minister should withdraw, apologize to we are opposition. And my parents were our opposition, so my parents are big mouth. Is that honorable minister is telling us? Honorable minister, you are big mouth.
Evans, equal tie, halas, finish. 1-1, let's proceed. The match is over.
Point of order.
The match is over. 1-1.
Point of order.
Yes, there is a point of order from Kian West.
Honorable Speaker, orders 43-4. A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question, and the answer provided. Honorable Speaker, let us not look at the entire write-up as a question.
Honorable,
point.
No, Honorable, sit down.
Let me finish my order.
No, you cannot do that.
Let me finish my order.
No, there was a point of order and I ruled on that, please.
No. I don't finish my order.
No.
I'm not done.
There was a point of order on that and I made a ruling.
No, I didn't. I'm saying I'm not finished with my order.
No, point of order on what? Who?
I'm not finished with my order.
Because there is no supplementary question yet for you to point of order that supplementary.
Yes, there was.
That one, there was a point of order and I made a ruling on that one.
Your ruling was wrong.
Sit down, take your seat. Be quiet there. Minister, please provide answer to the question asked by the member for Serekunda.
Which question is that, Mr. Speaker?
No, you know, he asked supplementary question in respect of councils and...
Can you repeat the question, please?
Yes, member for Serekunda, please repeat your supplementary question for him.
I almost forgot the supplementary question, but what I was saying, okay, the member for, is it Kiang West? Because in this...
Let him ask this question. He should not reference me, please. You asked him to ask question, not to reference me.
To put my question out.
No, let him not reference me. Ask him not reference me. Let him not reference me. Let him not reference me. You ask him to ask this question. Let him go straight to his question.
Are we comfortable then? Are we comfortable with the effort that the central government is doing to make our streets safe? Are we comfortable to say that the councils are sabotaging by collecting daily fees, which will encourage people to sit on the streets and sell?
No, that was not your honorable member of Central Body. Maintain decorum. You people, when a question is in favor of you or is against you, no.
Autonomous and independent. We do not interfere as to how they use their resources. But having learned from the current investigation of the Commission of Inquiry about local government councils, every Gambian is convinced that our resources were not being properly used. Therefore, central government is awaiting the report of that Commission of Inquiry that will guide government as to how we now see our state resources are being properly utilized.